So hi, Welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Bryce.
And I'm Tim, and we're from the band Telltale.
And we're going to have some questions today about their upcoming self-titled album, so congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Pretty good so far, yeah. We've put out some of the different tracks on the record. They have like a bit of a different sound. We've got a shoegaze song, kind of like a emo rap type song, and then, more of our traditional rock stuff. But I think once the whole record's out, it'll make a lot more sense, kind of like where we're going sonically with everything. So super excited for everybody to hear it.
Yeah,
yeah.
The record's sick. It is like an amalgamation of just a little bit of everything, and I really dug it, especially Eddie, because I'm a big fan of heavy music to begin with. So that song,
Yeah, right.
I'm into that one.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we tried to kind of tap all of our main influences. Like, we come from like a hardcore and metalcore background, but we all like Fall Out Boy and Blink-182 as well. So just wanted to spice in a little bit of everything and then throw in some dad rock in there. We like Creed and Puddle of Mud and Nickelback. So I don't know. It's just like a true encompassing record of all of our influences for sure.
I'm glad you brought up dad rock, because when the first song opened, I'm like, so they're a dad rock band now. Gloria and I were talking about it before, and then I was like, the record's just all over the place. So it's awesome. I love it.
A lot of variety.
Yeah.
Definitely something for everyone. I fucking love the record.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't know if people would rock with it or not. I mean, like, some of the singles obviously are a little bit out there, like Kissing in a Car Crash kind of sounds like Citizen or Basement, but then you have some other sounding ones that are different. So I think, like I said, once all the kind of the non-singles are out and you can listen to it like in full from front to back, I think people might rock with it. But yeah, we appreciate y'all checking it out early and everything for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. So is there any reason why this is your self-titled, and is there any meaning behind the cover art?
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know, cracked up, got a little cold or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So it's we went with self-titling it just because we were kind of thinking about like names for a record and stuff, and like the other things we'd kind of pitched out didn't really make sense, and we'd always thought bands that have a self-titled record, usually that record's pretty fucking good. Like, if you sit back and think about it, like the Story So Far self-titled record's hot, 4 Year Strong self-titled's hot, and it kind of just keeps going. We're like, you know what? I love Telltale. Let's name it Telltale. Let people know what we're about, and it's a little bit of everything, like we've kind of talked about. So that's Telltale. So if you want that on a record, it's the self-titled one.
Gotcha.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
And then the cover art.
Yeah, covers, we're named after the Edgar Allan Poe story. You can kind of visualize that with the Eddie video as well. But we just kind of like dove straight into it, and we're like, let's just get a dark ass raven and see what the hell happens with it. So it's super cool.
Hell yeah,
Oh, yeah.
badass raven.
Yeah. So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah. So yeah, we wrote the record with Alan Day from 4 Year Strong. He's like one of my favorite guitar players, so it was really sick working with him. But essentially everybody kind of brought like we like to call them bedroom demos. So they're like a minute to like a minute and 30 seconds of a song, basically, like to get the idea across. We'll bring like lots of chord progressions or like a synth pattern or, a drum beat or something. And then essentially we just kind of built a lot of the songs from like scratch like that. So like we'd show them to Alan and be like, hey, you want to work on this? We can try something with this chord progression or this vocal melody. And yeah, everybody kind of contributes in different ways. Like, I think that's one unique thing about our band, is that everybody kind of writes different parts and adds different things. Whereas some other bands just have one primary songwriter. We all like sprinkle in a little bit of spice to it. So that's kind of how the writing process went. We would just kind of start with like, the very stripped down demos, and then the songs would kind of evolve. We would kind of go on Spotify and be like, hey, let's try and make it kind of sound like maybe this artist mixed with this artist or something. And then it just kind of turned out the way it did.
Gotcha. So was it everybody writing separately and then bringing everything together with Alan and then kind of building it out with him?
Kind of. Like, John lives in Nashville, and the other three of us live in Richmond still, where we're based out of. So like throughout the whole process, like if John would come home, he'd like come over to my place and we'd, mess around and write a intro, verse, chorus kind of thing. Or the two of Travis and Tim would just come over and we'd kind of just write a little something. But there's stuff John had that, like we hadn't really heard until we got there. Just because I'm not driving 12 hours to hear like a little tiny bedroom demo, like Tim was saying.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
My personal favorite is probably the first song on the record. We're gonna call it "Wannabe," like by I guess the Spice Girls. But we decided that would probably get buried in the algorithm, so it's just called like WTB. I just think that has like the best like chorus in my opinion that we've written in a while. Alan helped write a bunch of the leads on it too, so it has like a little bit of like the 4 Year Strong zest to it. Plus, like I think the chorus is very like Fall Out Boy, and that's like one of my favorite artists. So I'd probably go with that one. What about you, Bryce?
I'm a fan of Kissing in a Car Crash. Honestly, it's very like shoegazy and whatnot, and I'm super into that kind of vibe. So that's definitely a favorite of mine. But the song that I guess took the longest probably would have been Cardinals. So we had like a whole different set of lyrics for it before we actually finalized it, and it was like talking about like, I don't know, birds basically, I guess. Like it was weird. But
Yeah.
it just didn't quite make sense. And then we kind of tap into the whole like, well, we all kind of trying to call somebody when you're on tour is rough. So then we kind of just started diving into that mindset of what's it like at home when we're not home, if that makes any kind of sense. So that's kind of Cardinals.
Yeah, that song, we finished that the last day in the studio, actually, basically that whole song. But the title is like it's like a callback to the state bird of Virginia is the cardinal. So like, it's kind of like a callback to that, basically like, being somewhere in a different state and then kind of like wanting to fly back home or whatever, just be at home. But yeah, that song was like very hard to write. Basically, we put on like Chase Atlantic. I found a Chase Atlantic song that I really liked, and we listened to it for like 4 hours straight. And then he kind of like came up with the melodies and everything. So it's just like really difficult, but we persevered.
Okay.
What about the song made you guys like want to keep going for it and trying to crack it?
It's a hot track. Like even before we had like lyrics down on it, like just rhythmically, the chorus is interesting because it's not just like straight strumming or anything. Like got to put some harmonics in there, which I'm super into doing stuff like that. And I know like Alan was stoked to throw some different stuff in that one in particular. But like the song itself was just like really solid, and even the melody of what is there is the same as it was with that other set of lyrics. It just makes way more sense.
Gotcha.
So like we saw where it was supposed to go. It just took a while to get it right.
That makes sense. Yeah. So how'd the track list for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, we knew like the first track was going to be the opening track. The first verse is kind of like talking about how the band like formed like back when we all kind of started playing music, and then it kind of drops into the like tell me who you want to be. So we kind of envisioned that as the first track. The rest of the songs kind of just like fell into place, and then yeah, the last track has like a very big outro, like just like a big outro instrumental type thing. And that was kind of modeled after like the Home Team. They have that song like Danger, I guess, or whatever it's called, where it's just like really big, like I don't know, instrumentals and guitar solos. And I was just like that sounds really sick. So we kind of just like why not? So yeah, we kind of knew what the opening and closing songs would be, and then everything else we kind of just pieced together.
And was the middle part just basically like based on vibes kind of thing?
Yeah. Like it's Eddie flows into I'm blanking on what Eddie flows into the next track. I'm blanking on what that one's called. Getting Sober, that's it. Yeah. So track 5 goes into track 6. So if you play it on the record like we want you to, it just keeps going and it fades through, and with on Spotify and everything it'll like cut and then kind of keep going, so it'll sound kind of weird. Shout out to digital stuff ruining it. But yeah, on a record, it's 100% intended for you to press play or, drop your record down and let it just go the whole way through.
Love that. Hell yeah.
Okay, all right. So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Yeah. So normally their last record we did, we flew out to LA and it was like really sunny, 70 degrees, and that was cool and everything, but we're more of like a self-depreciating emo band. So like we decided that we should just go up to like it was near Boston, but we recorded the record in an old New England church. It snowed a lot and it was like really dark and gloomy. So like our headspace honestly wasn't great, but that's like kind of what we wanted because that's when we write like I feel like our best lyrics and stuff, like when we can just be kind of sad, as terrible as that sounds, but like um I don't know, we take a lot of like solace and just kind of like reflecting on ourselves and just like relationships and stuff, and being completely almost isolated from anybody and like anything like really helped like pull out like the ideas that we wanted to convey instead of like being in like a bigger market like Nashville or LA where it's like, oh, go see a show tonight, or oh, let's go hang out with industry people or whatever. This was like there's nobody here. Like it's just just get with it and like be completely engulfed in the record for like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So our headspace probably wasn't great, but we knew what we were doing, where like we were comfortable with where it was going beforehand. So
Okay. So have you seen like any long-lasting impact on your mental health, I guess, because of you guys are putting yourself in that kind of negative headspace to write?
sometimes, yeah. I mean, back maybe then, yeah, just a little bit, just because we wanted to get the record out and like we didn't have like too much going on tour wise. So I mean, like I guess we fed into it a little bit with the negative mental health spot, but a lot of us have like stopped drinking and doing stuff since then, and it's like really helped, just the whole vibe of like the band and everything, and like um yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I never really thought about it. I mean, we always write like our bigger songs are always like written when somebody is just like at their absolute worst,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds horrible, but like it's normally not meant to be that way, but like it just happens where someone's just like very down and it's like, all right, here's a really, really cool lyric set, or like here's just some cool music.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like that's like the great thing about music is that allows us to like pull ourselves out of like whatever we're dealing with, and just kind of like overcome it. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is a workout album, party album? What do you guys personally recommend?
Number one is definitely like we mentioned before, it's the record. Like,
Yeah.
get that thing on there and let it spin. Just let it go. It'll make perfect sense. But beyond that, like, I definitely say it's a headphones album. Like, of course, I'm sure you're gonna throw it on in your car when you're driving to work or whatever. I don't know if you're gonna hang out with your homies and bounce it on a bright sunny day. Probably not, but you can. I mean, track one, you can. It's got that vibe for sure.
Mhm.
But it's the journey. So like, if you have your headphones on, you can hear some of the like lower guitar parts, because like we do write multiple guitar parts, but obviously only one's in the center, since we just have myself as the one guitar player, and all the extra little leads and other things that you might not hear as apparent when we play live, are there, and kind of adds and ties the whole song together, if that makes sense. Some of that extra stuff you might not catch if you're just blasting it through a stereo instead. So getting all the fine details from headphones is definitely the move.
All right.
yeah, I would say maybe, yeah, just headphones, like maybe go to the park on an overcast day and just sit by yourself for like 30 minutes. I like to consume music by being completely isolated and like listening for different, like just earworms or just like lyrics, and just being able to like focus on the music. So if people are able to dedicate, some time to it when it comes out, that would be sick. I know like tonight, Knock Loose record comes out, and like we're gonna bump it in the van
Yeah.
the second it comes out, but like I still want to go listen to it by myself and feel a certain way about it. So yeah, I guess, yeah,
Mhm.
go. I don't know, however you want to do it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
Grunge, emo, pop.
Damn!
Nice.
Off the dome. All right.
Damn. Sorry, Tim. Have fun with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna say self-depreciating emo.
Oh,
People
shit.
always asked us like what do you sound like? And I'm like, I don't know, like a sad version of like like Knuckle Puck or like I don't know, somebody like we don't really write too many like optimistic songs or anything. So yeah, I'd say just self-depreciating emo.
Those are both pretty good answers.
Yeah.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the track or the album?
Although, like he said, we're kind of like we beat up on ourselves a lot, musically, lyrically, and then everything. Like it's good to kind of have that to fall back onto, but like we also don't. We're self-reflective, and we want you to be self-reflective too, to an extent. Like, a lot of these songs are about like mistakes we've made or darker spots we've been in, but like there literally is always like the next song, the next day, the next everything. So like it's okay to be sad or whatever and get that emotion through our music. But then you can just go back to track 1 and be like super stoked. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah,
Yeah, well the question was what do I want people to feel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm big into like kind of just feeling like a person, like walking out and like today's like kind of breezy, so I just like feeling like the sun on my skin and just like the breeze and everything. I just think like just appreciating things for what they are, just like kind of living in the moment is kind of what I want people to feel with this record. And if it goes farther than that, great, but just appreciate whatever's going on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. So are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
No, that's an interesting one.
I think the whole writing process was like like I said, we recorded in like a church. It was really cold, like it was like the winter time, like February or something, and it was like snowing and stuff. So I think just like not being able to go outside and not being able to like travel or like do too much like was definitely a challenge. And just like we've never really recorded a record where we've like lived at the studio or like been completely isolated or anything. So I think just that whole thing of just we're really out here, like you have to finish recording the songs, like there's no other way around it. So just like kind of getting over like the different challenges of like writing and then just like living with everybody and being engulfed in everything was probably the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Same for you, Bryce?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we've always like kind of gone somewhere and like been around a lot of other people and just stuff. So being able to kind of like actually live in a record was just a different and unique experience for us. I think we should probably do it again because like looking back at it, it's like it's challenging and kind of tough, but I think we get a better product out of being and living the record versus like popping in and out of the studio and doing all this other stuff on the side too.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Makes sense.
So since you guys are on tour, we have to ask, what's been your go-to snack at a gas station or a rest stop?
Oof. I love Diet Dr. Pepper. Like I will drink that every day. I don't know if that's considered a snack, but that's like my go-to.
All right.
We've also been into those Nerds clusters
Damn.
that have come out. Those are
Those
pretty good.
So good.
Mhm.
So
And
good.
then Cheez-Its.
Damn right. See, yeah.
Cheez-Its are number
Classic.
one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What about y'all? What snacks are we vibing with?
Cheez-Its. I have a bag right next to me actually. So yeah.
There we go.
If,
Yeah.
if I'm feeling healthy, they got little 69-cent bags of peanuts at the gas station, so I'll go for those. Or Lay's potato chips, dill pickle, salt and vinegar, whatever I'm feeling, whatever they have.
There we go.
Can't go wrong.
Exactly. Damn right. So for these last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Great. So
Yeah,
we're actually gonna go
definitely.
straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Shit. That's
There's so many good things
There's
I
a
could
lot of
choose
good
here. I could choose Waffle House. I could choose Cookout. I could choose Wawa.
Mhm.
I think I'll just go with like a steak and then like a really nice filet mignon or something, and then like some mac and cheese, Diet Dr. Pepper, maybe some Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse rolls, and
Damn right.
like a baked potato or something. I don't know. If I'm already gonna die, I might as well just eat as much shit as I can, you know?
Why the hell not? Yeah.
Absolutely. I like hibachi a lot, so that's pretty banging. Maybe some lasagna too, just Garfield it up a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Dr. Pepper's also like my favorite as well. I don't usually drink Diet Dr. Pepper. Tim's hip to it. I'm not, but yeah, just
Did you really say lasagna?
I love Italian
That's like
food,
the
bro.
worst.
Dude.
Dude,
Do
it's
you not like
banging.
lasagna?
It's okay, but I'm
It's
not
banging.
like you said. I'm not
Hit me with
Garfield. I don't
lasagna. Hit me
know.
with
Oh my
like just
God.
an Alfredo, a shrimp scampi or something. I don't know. I love noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
so
Hell yeah.
I should say lasagna.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
We're either doing Middle Earth or wherever Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away. You know, that's one of those things. Either one's good.
Okay.
this isn't really fictional, but I guess like Jurassic Park world
Yeah.
or some shit. I mean, like they've I don't know. I guess we live there. I mean, they fucked up 6 times, so like maybe I can be the voice of reason for one of those times.
You
I'm
can
trying
save
to
them.
recreate dinosaurs.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so probably that.
All right.
That's good. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
You know, this is a loaded question because have you had anybody that's colorblind before?
Yes, I think 3 times. Yeah.
Dang. I'm gonna say blue then.
Okay.
I'm red green colorblind. But I'd go with blue. I think blue is cool. You can match blue with anything.
Right.
I wear blue jeans a lot, and everybody says, "Oh wow, those aren't black, black pants or whatever." Like you got to wear black pants on stage, and I'm like, it's close enough. So like, I'm going with blue.
All right.
Yeah. Blue's a great color.
I don't know. Black or red's cool. Yeah.
All right.
I sit here in black and red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice
gotta be a
holding
treat.
Absinthe shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
That band
That
rocks.
band's incredible.
Yeah,
You have a
great.
nice Unity shirt too. I see.
Thank you. I just saw them last night.
Tuesday. 2 nights ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
2 nights ago.
Where?
Yeah. Richmond.
Like Canal Club?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Do you
wow.
live in Richmond?
I live in Suffolk, so I'm like it's like
Oh,
an
okay.
hour and a half from me. Yeah.
Did you know that me and Bryce work at the Canal Club?
Do you actually?
We do. I am like part promoter there, and he's like the in-house photographer when we're not on tour. So if you ever want to come to a show, please hit us up.
Yeah,
I'll put you on the guest list. If you want to come to Kubla Khan or anything or Drain, just let us know.
Shit.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will. I appreciate
I would have
that.
been there. I would have been there on
Yeah, we
Tuesday.
would have been there. I would have been sick.
Dude,
but-
it was fucking crazy because it was a Alpha Wolf. It was God, they're so good. Goddamn.
Yeah, I heard the guitar player broke his foot.
Yeah, it was wild because I just looked up and I just saw him just falling from the sky. I don't even know how he got up there. He just dropped and then he just sat down for the rest of the show. It's
Did you
fucking
see
wild.
the really tall security guard?
Yes, he's like fucking buff, right?
Huge, yeah.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
fucking he clears me by like a foot and I'm tall. And so it's always like a humbling experience every time he fucking walks by me. It's crazy.
He's like 7 foot, like 2 or 3. Like,
It's a big guy.
he like helps load all the gear too. Like, I'll hire him to help us load all the equipment because I'm like, you're stronger than I ever will be. So come on down.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
That's
yeah, if you're
cool.
ever in town or you just want to come to a show, just like hit us up. We got you on the guest list.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
I don't know. Just we don't have many followers on TikTok. I'm old and don't know how to use shit. So if you're on TikTok, go follow us. I think it's Telltale RVA. And if not, yeah, our record comes out on May 17th via Rude Records. So please check it out if you have 30 minutes. And yeah, otherwise, we definitely appreciate y'all having us on the show today.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah, of course.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. This guy's been Bryce and Tim from Telltale, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.